So I just rolled credits on Silent Hill F, and my god, do I have some very strong opinions about this game. It might ruffle some feathers, it might not. Y'all know I don't bite my tongue. Now, Silent Hill F is a game that's clearly trying to take this franchise into a new direction for better or worse. What I will say is, I respect the dev team for taking such a massive risk with this game. Instead of giving us a more safe, formulaic Silent Hill experience, they tried to go above and beyond and try something new. Now, does it work? For the most part, it does. This game definitely has its flaws. But what I will say is I absolutely enjoyed this experience, and I'm actually grateful for the story that they gave us. I feel like Silent Hill F is going to be one of the most misunderstood Silent Hill games of all time. A game that will not truly be appreciated until years and years into the future. I feel like Ryukishi gave a story that a lot of other studios are afraid to give. A story with such strong themes and metaphors that genuinely I haven't seen since the earlier PS2 horror games back in the day. But I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. So let me just address the elephant in the room. Is this a great horror game that just has the Silent Hill title? Or is this really a Silent Hill game? And the answer is obvious. It is a Silent Hill game. Something that really stood out to me that I absolutely love is the atmosphere and also the sound design of this game. I feel like they're absolutely brilliant. This taking place in 1960 feudal Japan. You're in this narrow ass town, and I mean, you barely have any room to breathe. It just brings out so much stress in tenseful situations that I absolutely love. And it kind of reminds me of Resident Evil 1 when you're navigating these narrow hallways, when you don't know what to expect around the corner or what can pop out behind you. And then when you run into these enemies, you're scared to death, you're bumping into these narrow hallways and you're making mistakes. That's exactly what I was doing in Silent Hill F. When you're running through this tiny town, when you have all these creatures chasing after you, and in the beginning you really don't have anything to defend yourself, I felt so stressed. I was running into dead ends and just panicking, like, where do I go? Where do I go? It gave me such an amazing feeling of dread. That's something I definitely got to commend the devs on, because not only does it feel like the creatures are after you, the longer you spend time in this town, it feels like the town itself is out to get you. Meaning the environments like the spider lilies, the blossoms, vines, even ropes, they'll cut off certain areas and force you in a tighter chokehold for you to deal with an enemy or even more than one and put you in these bad situations. So every time you take a step into town, it feels like everything is just crashing in on you. You have no freedom. You're choked up, which in a sense is beautiful to me because Hinako feels a certain way towards a certain situation without spoiling anything. So it all ties in together beautifully. Yes, much like James Sunderland, Hinako's manifestations and her fears and everything is what she's dealing with in this fog. So this is why I really laugh at the people saying that this is really not a Silent Hill game, because that could not be further from the truth. One of the more underrated aspects of this game is the sound design. There was times where I was running away from enemies and I ran into like a dead end, and of course I'm staring through the fog to see if the enemies are still coming out because the music is loud as hell. Nothing ends up coming out of the fog, but I'm still hearing footsteps. I'm still hearing the clankiness of the body. It's very unsettling. So I'm doing complete 360s and 540s because they sound like they're right on my neck, about to jump from a building on top of me. Because yes, the enemies are more unpredictable than ever in this game. They'll jump from bushes, they'll jump from buildings. I felt unsafe the whole entire time. So now let's touch on the elephant in the room, shall we? This is actually my only gripe that I have with this game. And I mean literally the only gripe I have with it. You guys know where I'm going with this. It was one of my biggest fears coming into this game after watching the gameplay previews, and that is the combat. Now, the combat is not as bad as people make it seem. I'm just gonna get that out the way. I'm debunking that immediately. People make Silent Hill F's combat seem like it is the worst combat to ever grace the Silent Hill name, and that's just bullshit because the first 4 games exist. Silent Hill 4 has the worst gameplay in any Silent Hill game, but the first 3 are not good either, and I love those games. Let's stop letting nostalgia take over everything. Silent Hill F's gameplay is decent for what it's trying to do. Now the problem is it's just extremely weird. It tries to juggle way too much at one time, and it actually hurts the game more than anything. Now what am I talking about? One of them is the sanity meter, which is a little flower meter you have above your regular health. When that is depleted, because if you get hit you lose sanity, once that's depleted, you take major, and I mean major damage, and you will die quick. So you have to carry items to keep your sanity meter full. Another thing you have to pay attention to is the weapon durability. And I'm not gonna lie, if you are aggressive as hell in this game, because a lot of people, especially newer fans, are gonna come in this game just wanting to smash things, you are gonna pay the ultimate price, especially when you run into these boss battles. The weapons run out extremely fast, especially like the better, heavier weapons like the axe. If you swing that about a good 4 to 5 times, you're done. You have to carry toolkits to keep those weapons repaired. But the only problem is the toolkits are very scarce in this game. You do not get too many of those, so you have to make every one count. And that's what I actually love about this game, because the survival factor is very prominent. And that's the problem I really have, because they kept stressing to us that this is an action heavy game. Well, if that is the case, the combat mechanics should be fun and engaging. The survival aspect of the game is way more fun and engaging than the actual combat. The combat, as the game goes on, starts to feel like a literal chore. I mean, there was one part, and it's towards the end, where they really start making you fight. I mean, like a straight fight club. Like, you have to keep whooping ass to get to another part of the map. And I promise you, when I got to like the third ass whooping session I had to go through, I literally just said, oh fuck, they're just making me fight. I'm tired. The gameplay is not good enough to keep putting that on players, in my opinion. It got old real fast. I did have fun in the beginning with it, but as it went on, it just started to get worse and worse. And then there's a certain part in the game, without spoiling anything, if you play the game, you know what I'm talking about, but there's a certain ability you get in the other world. And when I say it turns the game on its head, because you literally become this unstoppable being, and you can literally fight like 4 enemies at the same time with no sweat at all. Now, I do know, because it's tied to the story, and it's a very big metaphor, and it's beautifully done in my opinion, but when I went through those areas, it was literally like a dungeon of ass kicking. That's the best way I can put it. Soon as you leave, you're coming out, you're just looking for enemies to fight. Okay, let me knock you off. Let me go to this area. Let me knock you off. That's really what it was. And it just felt ridiculous for a Silent Hill game. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a guilty pleasure moment for me. Going through that section and then going back to the real world, where you have to go back to the basic and regular combat, I was just over it, man. I was just like, I'm just tired of this. I'd rather just run past enemies and watch my stamina meter than to actually fight. And I feel like they welcomed that in the beginning of the game, where there was just so many opportunities for you to run past enemies, to save up on your weapon durability and your items. I like that part of the game. I don't like the part where they made me have to fight every single time. Sucks, because I actually think the enemies in this game are some of the best in the whole entire franchise. They were really fun to encounter and run from, but I really just don't like fighting them, because some of them in the real world are complete chores to deal with. What I would have did personally, I would have had the other world be the action heavy stuff that the game wanted to make significant, but then in the real world, I would have made it real survival horror like the Silent Hills we all know and love. But that's just me personally. I know a lot of people that really love the combat and they don't see a problem with it, so it's something you have to check out yourself. But when you guys do end up playing the game, you will see where I'm coming from, at least. So now I want to touch on my favorite part of Silent Hill F, and I mean my absolute favorite part.
Shoo! You came for me. Oh, Hinako, glad you're safe too.
So excuse me for going on a rant or whatever I'm about to do, because I just have to express this. This story is absolutely peak. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the ignorant people on the internet say. They try to downplay the story of this game. It is peak. Now, I've seen a lot of ignorant takes on the internet. Everybody just calling this a feminist game. Oh, this is just for the women and all this stuff. I hate that take, because Silent Hill has always been about women. Women always get the short end of the stick in society. Women go through a lot. And I love games that freaking shine a light on what women go through. Earlier in the video, I said this reminds me of the early PlayStation 2 horror days, and it does. Like something like Haunting Ground, where this character named Fiona is objectified by a bunch of men. She's literally stalked all throughout the game by these men, and their sole purpose is one of the most disgusting things ever. And it really just shines a light on the struggles what women go through. That's why I feel like Haunting Ground will never get a remake, because the theme is so strong. A lot of men and a lot of people in today's day don't want to acknowledge the truth behind a lot of this stuff. And I feel like since Silent Hill F has been out, I feel like these points have been proven. But what I really don't understand to the people that hate on this game because it's a female character and we're going through what this girl goes through at a young age with identity and being objectified at such a young age. She doesn't have a choice for a future or anything. Silent Hill has always been about women, if you think about it. Silent Hill 1, Harry searches for Cheryl. And Silent Hill 2, it's all about James finding his wife because he thinks his wife is in Silent Hill, with him trying to suppress and forget all the heinous things he's done to his wife. And along the way, you run into more hurt women. You run into Angela, who is a woman that's struggling with her self-identity and going through what she's going through because of what she experienced at a young age. Maria, although we know her situation, she still gets the short end of the stick because James doesn't give a damn about her. Hell, when you think about Silent Hill 4, the whole point of that game is Walter is terrorizing everybody because he believes he can reunite with his mom, which he believes is the Room. Every game revolves around a female character. Do not listen to these people that are pushing this agenda about Silent Hill F. Ryukishi did a absolute phenomenal job with this storytelling. This is what Silent Hill is about, the multi-layered storytelling. So if you are a fan of Silent Hill stories, you are going to love Silent Hill F, and I have no doubt about it. The only thing about how the story is done, you have to play the game multiple times, or you can watch the rest like I did. I could not fit another 3 playthroughs in a short amount of time to get this video out. You do not get fed the full story after the first playthrough. In fact, the first playthrough ends in a cliffhanger, which is kind of unique the way they did it. You truly don't get the true ending until the very last playthrough, which I believe is the 4th playthrough. Now that might sound like a chore to do, but at least when you go and do these new game plus playthroughs, there are different things that happen throughout the game. It actually expands on the story and makes things a lot clearer than it did the first initial playthrough, which is the first time to my knowledge been done in Silent Hill. So I really like that they took a chance on doing something like that, and it paid off in my opinion because everything got clearer every new game plus. So it rewards replayability, and I feel like that's how horror games should handle new game pluses. It should always feature something new happening so it can make the playthrough unpredictable. So that's something I really love. So I will end up going back and replaying this game a lot, despite how I feel about the combat. The story's that damn good in my opinion. This is a game that's going to feature so many theories, and I think over time Silent Hill F might end up even having the level of impact and co-following of a Silent Hill 4, which is a game a lot of people did not like when it was released, but as time went on, it kind of aged like fine wine. And I'm not talking about that goddamn combat. People started appreciating the story more and the characters more and started uncovering more layers of the game, and I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen with F, and a lot of people are going to change their tunes in the years to come. So if you really love strong themed stories, this is a game that is absolutely going to pull you in. I'm trying to talk without spoiling. Maybe I'll do a video where I'll really break down what I believe the story is truly about and all that stuff, but I'm telling you now, the story alone is worth $70, and that is a trend with Silent Hill games, not the Western games, but at least the original 4 games. If you do not like the gameplay of Silent Hill, the story will always keep you coming back. Everything Hinako deals with at such a young age will really open your eyes if you really wasn't mindful of it, especially in Japanese culture, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have researched Japanese culture before. We see how women are looked at in that culture. So I think he's truly telling one of the most authentic stories when it comes to a girl trying to find her own identity, dealing with absolutely terrible parents. We all know people that go through things like that. So to me, this story actually hits a lot harder despite me being a man. So I greatly appreciate how powerful the story is. The characters are freaking great as well.
Glad to be of service, ma'am. If I had known you'd be here, I would have brought that magazine you lent me.
Oh, you can hold on to it. I knew I wasn't getting it back when I lent it to you.
What's that supposed to mean?
They're all written with so much layer. I appreciate that as well. You can easily mistake certain characters to be villains when it's not even really that deep when you think about it. But overall, this game has some of the best writing this franchise has ever seen. Am I saying this is better than Silent Hill 2 or 3? No, I'm not saying that because it's not in my opinion. But if anybody ever says this is my favorite Silent Hill game, I would not be mad at them for saying that. This game has so much going for it. The combat might not be all that, but everything outside of that is top tier in my opinion. I'm surprised this game is really not being accepted by a lot of people. Because to me, if you're a Silent Hill fan, you would enjoy what this game has to offer. I know the combat is not being accepted and that's a big part of it, and I understand that. But when it comes to the overall writing, the scares, this game is not easy. This game is pretty relentless when you think about it. It doesn't hold your hand. You could be lost for hours trying to figure out puzzles. It's everything a Silent Hill fan should appreciate. So that's why I really don't understand some of the hate that this game is getting. But the way this game is being talked about, it's like it's just a giant stain on the Silent Hill franchise. You would think this is like Resident Evil 6 or something. This is a Silent Hill game. This is an amazing horror game. I genuinely think this game is one of the best games to come out this year, and it is still severely underrated. If you have not played this game and you're on the fence about spending $70, I highly recommend you check this out for yourself. You cannot listen to outside noise when it comes to Silent Hill games in particular, because I'm gonna be real, Silent Hill fans, and I'm talking about the elitists, they hate Silent Hill games. If it's not made by Team Silent, they're going to shit on the game. You still have people to this day acting like the remake is horrible. And I know everything is opinionated, but you can never listen to a Silent Hill elitist, and I'm just being honest with y'all. If you took offense by what I just said, that means you are a part of the problem. This game is excellent. It does everything well except the combat, which is a Silent Hill trend, sadly. And even though this game is trying to take Silent Hill in a different direction, I don't think the next up and coming original Silent Hill games that are coming out are going to mimic what Silent Hill F did combat wise. I think whoever comes up with these new Silent Hill games, they are just going to be more ambitious. They're not going to be scared to take risks. We're going to see a lot of different things come out of this franchise. Instead of the formulaic puzzle solving psychological horror that we're used to, they are going to try to implement new things to make something stick, and I'm not mad at it. It's either going to hit or it's not. But at this time, they are able to do that because Silent Hill Remake and Silent Hill F have been extremely successful. I think Silent Hill F has already sold over 1 million copies. So they earned the right to keep trying with this franchise. I'm just happy that Silent Hill finally has some consistency going. This is a franchise, original game-wise, we haven't seen in 13 damn years. We should all be appreciative of what the hell is going on right now. Nobody would have even thought this would be happening. So if you're a Silent Hill fan, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are eating this up like I am, and I think it's worthy of the title despite what people were saying. Thank y'all for listening to me rant. I know it's been all over the place, but this is just how I genuinely feel about this game. Minutes into the video, thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate all the support. And if you're new to the channel, I cover a lot of gaming content, especially Resident Evil and Silent Hill. I do reactions, all that good stuff, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if that sounds good to you. Greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe out in these gaming streets. Peace out.